Well, Charlie thinks I should give you a little bit of background about me. I was born and I am adopted as well. I did eventually get the non-disclosure records, which revealed to me that my biological mother was unwed and would not have been able to properly care for me, so she put me up for adoption. Now, understand that for a long time, I had some issues with this in thinking that I had been, for lack of a better word, abandoned. So, in my early 20s, actually at 20, I joined the Cincinnati cast of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with this, the Rocky Horror Picture Show is a movie. Now, you have a live cast that dresses in costumes, has props, and acts out the movie in front of the movie. So you've got a 3D version of the movie. We've got costumes, we know the songs, we know the dance moves, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of work. I can honestly say that in the time I did it, I didn't put on a whole lot of weight. We were all in pretty good shape because we were doing the show 2 nights a weekend, every weekend. It was Friday night and Saturday night down at the old Mighty Skywalk Cinema in downtown Cincinnati. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the movie, I did every part except for Janet, Magenta, and Eddie, which means I did do a role called Columbia, which is a woman's part, but we would do that a lot of night on switch nights. The girls would do guy parts, the guys would do girl parts. Now, we did have a woman named Rebecca who did Frankenfurter, who was exceptional. The woman was flawless. We had a couple other women that sometimes would do the parts in stilettos. Stiletto heels, the real thin heels. These women can sprint in heels like that. I look at that and my ankles want to snap. That is no lie. So I did that from 1988 until 1997, because you realize that when you are old enough to parent some of the fans that are coming down, it's time to retire. All right, so I did that for a lot of years. Had a lot of fun. It was a lot of work because you got to learn the timing on everything because you want to mirror the show as exactly as possible. And some of these dance steps are not easy. You have to learn a floor show routine. You have to learn the singing roles. You have to learn your lines because you're delivering the lines while the thing is going on. You're essentially putting on a play in front of the movie. So it's a lot of hard work. It was a lot of fun, but don't think for a second it wasn't hard work, because it was. Because, like I said, you got to learn the dance steps. There's a tap dance routine in it. The floor show is very involved. There's costume changes. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into this. But like I said, it was a lot of fun. We actually, for the 10-year anniversary, the Cincinnati Enquirer took our picture. I had not expected this picture to appear front and center on the front page, because I am wearing gold underwear and gold high tops, and that's it. At that time, my gut was back here, not out here. And my father, my beloved late father, went to work and the guys were teasing him about it a little bit. Hey, Charlie, that's your son there.
Yes, I have my grandpa's name.
Yes. They were giving my dad grief, and my dad's like, well, you know what? He didn't rob a bank. He didn't hurt anybody. He didn't commit any crimes. Why wouldn't I be proud of him? Shut them down like that. That's the little bit of notoriety. Notoriety? Nah. Satan. Yeah. That's a little bit of notoriety I have on that. Now, one of the gentlemen I met down there, when I returned, he was just starting to come down when I left. And when I came back, he was still down there in full force. Big John William Carter Robinson. Well, John was in college up at Miami University, and his project for his junior and senior year was he had to write, produce, direct, edit, etc., a show for their public access station. And he decided to do a wrestling show. Now, this is during, once again, this is going to be before some of your times. This is back during the days of the WWE, which at the time I think was still called the WWF.
World Wrestling Federation.
And the WCW, the World Championship Wrestling, that was owned by Ted Turner. So they were competing. They had what they were called the Monday Night Wars. They were both on Monday night. Now, a lot of the talent from the WWE jumped ship and went to the WCW. The pay was better. They had better opportunities, etc. So what John did is we combined a lot of those characters into parody characters. My friend Jack was called Thanatos. He was the Undertaker parody. Jason Montgomery, another very dear friend of mine, did a character that was, he was kind of a Shawn Michaels type parody. We had a gentleman named Amos. Amos, short guy, but still built like a brick wall. Amos now plays bass for Taylor Swift. He's a hell of a bass player too. But we had some other people who had done the minor league wrestling here that were teaching us how to do things, the collar and elbow lock, how to do things safely. There were still some injuries. A guy actually put me in a reverse neck breaker. I couldn't turn my head for a week. So that tells you, when the wrestlers tell you this is legitimately dangerous, we had minor injuries compared to what some of these guys had. They've had broken bones, broken sternum. A couple of them have even died in the ring. So yeah, it's dangerous. I played the Flying Scotsman, which was a parody of Roddy Piper, and I played a gentleman by the name of Deliverance. He was the Hillbilly Jim parody. And they were identical twin cousins. And we threw a backstory together that their moms were twin sisters, their dads were twin brothers. They had a single child, but we both looked alike. The Scotsman's parents were killed and he was adopted by a family and moved to Scotland. Hence why one has sort of a Scottish accent and the other one is a good old boy from Kentucky. So I had to play both roles. In order to do both roles, I would deliberately kind of hunch a little bit, and I wore clothes that made me look like I weighed less than Deliverance. Deliverance, I wore overalls, I wore a lined flannel shirt, and it made me look bigger, and I stood taller, so I looked to be just a little taller than the Scotsman. So we did that for 2 seasons. Now, as I'm an action figure collector, I also customize. It's where I take an action figure, move some parts around, and repaint it. I made action figures for this. For the first season, I got 30 figures done in 30 days. Yes, there was a lot of painting, and yes, there was even more swearing. I swore a lot. I said words that haven't been uttered in 2,000 years. But I got it done. The thing is that when I got it done, everybody got their figure. We had not planned that there was going to be a second season, but we ended up being a hit. We were like the #1 program on their public access station. But we did a second season, which we had a good time doing. A lot of us came back. Jason also, that was the other thing, is a lot of us were friends of John's. We didn't have a huge cast, so we would do things to, a lot of us were playing dual roles. Like I said, I did Scotsman and Deliverance. Jason played like the Shawn Michaels ripoff, and then he played another guy called Xantar. Xantar was kind of like the old Gold Dust shtick. He came out in whiteface, his blonde hair down, black makeup around the eyes, kind of a mysterious, kind of creepy looking guy. He played Xantar. So he did a couple of roles. That was how we were able to do so much. We had a couple of us playing dual roles. So we ended up doing the second season, and once again we were a hit. I added some more action figures as needed for new wrestlers, and that's my other claim to fame, is that I was actually in a public access show. I had a lot of fun doing it. I mean, I've done a lot of things. I was 30 when we did the last season. So at that time, I was thinking, man, in 30 years, I've done a lot of crazy stuff. Well, it's 22 years later, and I've still done a lot. I've done a lot more crazy stuff. So, but it's been fun. You know, a lot of people say, you know, they're like, oh, you need to take care of this, you need to take care of that. Yeah, I understand that. I dig that. I'm cool with that. But at the same time, I'm also an adherent to the philosophy that the idea of living life, you can exist or you can live. Existing, you play it safe, you don't take chances, you don't do a lot of things, you know, things like that. And then, you know, you're thinking, oh, I'm playing it safe, I'm eating right, I'm doing this, da 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 da, and you get hit by a car. I mean, I haven't simply existed, I've lived. I've done some stupid stuff. I will not deny that. My wife will not deny that either. You know, when I'm done with living, you know, it's basically one of those things where I don't want to go to the grave in pristine shape. I want to slide into it on fire, going, damn, that was fun. You know, and I've had a lot of fun. I've done a lot of things. Before I was in high school, I had already seen and been to over half the continental United States. And I've done nothing but add to it. I've been up through New England, which is a place that my mother always wanted to get to and we never got to. Been a few other places, but you know, I've traveled, I've done things. I climbed up the side of a waterfall in Cherokee. So, 2 years ago, we took what's referred to as a dialysis cruise. They have the dialysis right on the ship. So, while you're sailing to your next port of call, you're getting dialysis. I only missed like 3 ports of call because we happened to land in a port and I was doing dialysis. And when you're done with dialysis, you're pretty much done. I'll tell you that right now. But we flew from here to England, ran around London for a while. Then we left port and we went to Gibraltar, France, Spain, Portugal, Monaco, and Italy. I had never left the continent. And here I am running around Europe. We had a blast. We really did. And the food over there, oh my God. I asked my nephrologist, what do I do about watching my diet? He goes, be careful, but don't limit yourself too much. You know, have fun, enjoy yourself. Whatever you do, we can fix when you get back. Thanks, Doc. Hello, banana splits. Hello, ice cream, because I gotta watch my dairy. Hello, things that are bad for me. But the thing is that over there, they don't have high fructose corn syrup. It's all sugar. You get a soda, it's got sugar in it. When you look at ingredients on things, it's very basic ingredients, as opposed to over here where it's chemical shitstorm. And that's pretty much the way it is. You will notice a difference in the food immediately. The boys went over there, they grabbed the soda and they're like, oh my God, this tastes nothing like what we got over there. Welcome to real sugar land. But we did the cruise, which was a lot of fun. I'd never been on a cruise before either. So we did all that, saw a lot of great sights, really enjoyed myself.
We even went to Stonehenge after the cruise.
Yes, we went to Stonehenge. Stonehenge for me was a little disappointing because when they show it to you on television, it's tall, don't get me wrong. It's tall, but it looks like it's much wider. It looks like it's much bigger. It's really not that big. It's tall, the stones are massive, but it looks like it's just this big round circle. It's really not all that big. And there are lots of ravens over there too. Tons of ravens, which is really cool. I have an affinity for ravens. I share a birthday with Edgar Allan Poe, the writer of course, The Raven. So, but we saw Stonehenge, we saw the Colosseum in Rome, visited multiple cathedrals, and the cathedrals over there. Okay, we think we've got stuff. Let's be realistic here. A lot of our buildings date maybe 250 years old. Some of the older stuff. We're talking stuff over there that's been around for thousands of years. We're talking some of this stuff dates back to the BC days. So, you know, we've got cathedrals. They're not 250 years old. They're 500, 600, 750 years old. And these things are incredible. I mean, these aren't churches, they are cathedrals. They've got the flying buttresses. I said buttress. Anyway, I am the great Cornelio, and I said buttress. Anyway, and all this stuff is made by hand. That's the thing, is people actually went tink, 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 tink. You know, no power tools, no power. You know, so you got guys who are artisans who did this stuff, and it's still there. But yeah, I mean, and the stained glass windows, you know, they're not these little dinky things. They're these huge things that take up like a wall. I mean, like from the ceiling down halfway down the wall, and then the rest of the wall. And once again, somebody made this. Somebody sat down and actually made this thing.
People weren't lazy back then.
Well, you had essentially a renaissance to where people were wanting to do creative things. That's when you had, you know, some of this stuff was being built or restored or improved or expanded.
Or painted.
Well, during the Renaissance, you had people like Da Vinci, Michelangelo, the like, who were doing these incredible artworks and sculptures and everything else. Da Vinci was all over the damn place. He was exploring science, and he was exploring art, and he was exploring this and that, and just, you know, all kinds of crazy stuff.
He even made a couple beta designs for a flying machine.
Yes, yes he did. As for Michelangelo, the Sistine Chapel. Now, you understand, he painted the ceiling, which meant he spent from sun up till sundown on his back going, and I gotta do God's hand, and make sure the nail is there, and it's gotta just about touch Adam, and shit! God damn it, son of a... I just swore at a cathedral. Shit! Oh, I did it again! Oh crap, I said shit. Oh shit, I said crap! Damn it! Damn it! And right there, God's just up there going, yep, yep, yep. Oh, you are so much in trouble. You better make me look real good or else. You're going to be painting another chapel, and I'll tell you where it is. Pack light in the clothing area. And hope that your paint is fireproof. Asbestos undies are required. So, once again, when he said people have told me I should do stand-up, this is all train of thought. I'm not thinking of this. You know, it's just coming to me as I'm going on with this.
All right, we're done down here. You learned more about my father. We couldn't find what he was looking for, though. We checked everywhere. We checked downstairs, we checked upstairs, we checked the garage. We checked pretty much everywhere we could think to check, and we couldn't find it. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and had a few laughs here and there, like I did. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button. If you didn't, that's all right. It's all a matter of opinion. I just hope we made at least one person genuinely happy today. Anyway, I'm gonna head out. Have fun, stay safe, and I'll see you guys later.